Hello. Is this the angle I want? Let me turn the handrail off. So I just moved all of my things out of this house. I bought this house back in 2016. May of 2016. Wow, it's May of 2020. I was here exactly 4 years. This house was built in 1974 and it pretty much hadn't been touched since. I finally decided, you know what? This thing needs to be remodeled. And I mean, not just remodeled, I mean the creme de la creme, the tippity top of what you could possibly do with modernity and smart home-inity and everything, to where this house was structurally sound, well insulated, well built, all new HVAC units, electrical and plumbing and spray foam and the smart home, and oh my gosh, just the gas appliances, the gas fireplace. I mean, I went all out and I've sold it. I've finally sold this house for $541,000 and I bought it for $215,000. Now, I put a lot of money into it and I really didn't make money. And I'm just being transparent here. I mean, I kind of went and I just went extra above and beyond measures to like make it my own. But then coronavirus hits, the business was kind of slowing down. It was like, and I had spent all this money on my house. I'm like, you know what? I should sell it and just get my cash back at least. Literally, no one's buying houses. The whole world's freaking out. Lo and behold, I found a buyer. It's actually the buyer just texting me right now. So, very exciting. Got the majority of my money back, very happy. A lot of you are asking, Jess, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna live? I bought a condo on the river, the most gorgeous view. I'll do a whole nother video about the condo I bought. Just wait and see the condo renovation that I'm about to do. I'm sleeping in an Airbnb tonight, and for about 50, 55, 60 days, while the condo is being renovated, so I don't have to live through another renovation. But without further ado, about a month ago, I woke up real early. You can see a little bit of sleep in my eyes, but I kind of ran through the remodel. If you're interested, the remainder of this video will be past Jesse, because this is future Jesse. So past Jesse, take us through the remodel and let's see every detail about this house. So you guys have seen this house remodel that I've been showing on the vlog, the last couple vlogs. This is me 4 years ago purchasing this house. So it's just an exciting moment. I just pulled the truck in for the first time. Okay, this is the first ever cleaning session in this kitchen. It's going. It's gonna be out of here. We just got everything moved in. Really, really exciting. And now I've turned it into this epic, hopefully $600,000+ home by the river and in a beautiful neighborhood in Jacksonville. And I wanna show you around. So let's check it out. Man, even this front porch, we'll come back to everything here, what we just walked through. It's been a process, but let's check out the inside. So first things first, we gotta check out the gas fireplace. This fireplace was actually here, and you saw some of the Instagram stories and of course the vlogs where we took this brick fireplace, we did metal framing over the brick. We metal framed this over about this far so the beam would be in the middle. And then we did Durock, and then this is VP suede. And it actually feels, it's a Venetian plaster, so it feels super smooth like suede to the touch. It's actually really nice, like the soapstone sealer on top of the VP suede. Beautiful, love it. Got the glass chips, got everything. Like when you're doing a remodel for yourself or even for a client, it's even more complex when you're doing it for yourself, because I had to make every single decision. It's like, and I also had to design everything. I spent like $1,200 on like getting a floor plan laid out and stuff like that, but I still had to like figure out, do you want a 36 inch or a 24 or like an 18, like all these different things, even just for this gas insert. And like figuring out how to run the gas line, like the 3/4 gas piping, and like making sure the guys are using the right glue, and like trenching it, like cutting through the brick fireplace and getting it into this gas insert was just like a feat in and of itself. And I ran another gas line for this gas stove, which is epic to have gas in your kitchen and the fireplace over there. So I put a tank under the deck. So gas stove, gotta have it if you're doing a remodel, beautiful. Every detail was like, okay, well, Jess, like, where do you want this? Like, how far do you want this? Like, I need to buy this sink. Like, boom, how deep are we gonna go? I need to order this. What hardware do I want? Do you want soft close? Like, this is Riviera conch shell, like cabinets and all these, you know, different dimensions, and I had to fit it into this. And this is the living room. That was the kitchen. Had to decide, like, okay, let's move the kitchen over here. You know, you can see what the old kitchen looked like. It was just like a complete disaster from the 70s. By the way, this is a concrete countertops. Like two nights before they were about to pour these, I was like, oh, we could do pop-up outlets. It's gonna be epic. But I'm like, I need to order them on Amazon. These are like $150 a pop, and they also wirelessly charge your phone. So they came in like 2 hours before he was about to pour these. We laid it out. He's like, well, where do you want it? I'm like, well, got this cabinet, boom, let's go 12 inches here, center it here, let's do 2. See, my phone's charging over there. And all the wires can go underneath. And so you see the final product, but during this process, it was so much thought, so much time, so much energy was spent, even just buying these light fixtures, you know, let alone like, well, what smart appliances do I get? Speaking of smart, everything, like you can see, like this is the Lutron Cassetta light switches, and they link to, you can see I have Google there, but I also have Google here. Hey Google, turn off the dining room chandelier. And she turns it off. The front doors, the thermostats, all the lights, most everything in this house is smart. And I had to just figure out, well, I want a smart house. How do I do it? And I almost spent like $11,000 on like these Noon light switches, which are all like touchscreen and this and that. It was like $300 for just one little like 3 switch setup. I'm like, I'm just gonna go research the crap out of this and just like figure out. And it's Lutron Cassetta. It was great. It links to the app links to Google, done. So this was a door. You can see that ugly green carpet. That door was right here looking into this room. And then on the other side of this wall, there was a wall going this way, which was where that office was. I just demoed that entire wall and made that entire thing into the master bathroom. Let's go check it out. So I decided to do pocket doors everywhere, which are a great, great addition. You just have to do a little bit more framing. I actually made this a 2x6 wall. It was a 2x4, so I could throw that niche in. And then this is where the original toilet was. The bathroom was only this big. Like there was a huge wall here. So I demoed that wall, moved the toilet all the way to the other end of the whole world here. And this was like that entrance to the little office. Now I made this, I custom designed and built. Got the whites, got the darks. For the laundry, those things pull out. Got a little 12-inch. So like, well, how big do you want the drawer? I'm like, okay, 10, 8, 12, 14, let's do 12, let's do this, boom. A couple shelves. And then the tub. So it's like, ordered the tub. I ordered a lot of things on Wayfair. Wayfair, they're like, dude, you're like a professional Wayfair user. So I got this account because I kept like ordering things every single day. So before the tub even showed up, I had to look on the specs and put this drain pipe exactly where this was gonna be in relation to this faucet, you know, so it made it right into the tub, you know, so, and then like, I custom built these niches, and it's like, I laid out exactly where, you know, it's all just rough framing, and you're just like, okay, well, I need to have somewhere to put my shampoos, so let's build some niches there, niches here, you know. Then I was looking for, how do I do vanity lighting? Like, I had these 2 lights, and I had to like lay out every single spot where the recessed lights should go, the Julison 4-inch LED lights. But then I'm like, well, I don't want to do like pendants or like wall mounted lights. So why don't I get lights that are built into the mirror? So I'm like Googling, I found this thing. I paid like over $1,000 for it, but it came in like this bulletproof tank of a box, you know, it's like ripping out all this plywood. And anyway, I wired an outlet behind here, and this light is the coolest light you've ever seen. So It's gonna be epic for the wife that wants to do her makeup. That's why I bought it. His, hers, done. Of course, we got the pocket door. We got spots for all the wife's shoes. You got the spots to hang stuff, and it's just nice attic access. The fun thing about this bathroom space is there was an air handler sitting right here. The reason I kind of went over budget slightly was because I started getting into the remodel, and I'm like, well, the AC, wasn't really planning on changing it. I was kind of budgeting for it not being changed, but the one over there was like leaking and it needed to be changed. So I had to replace the ductwork, which was like ripping apart. And this one, this is another unit for this side of the house. I had to move it up or else this floor plan wouldn't have worked. And so I moved it up into the attic, but I couldn't have put the old unit up into the attic. So I had to buy a new unit. Of course, the ductwork was trash and it wasn't that much more to just do the ductwork, which I had to do. So I got a new condenser, handler, and ductwork for here, which is only a couple grand more just for this. But I wound up putting 3 HVAC units in this whole house, which the split unit downstairs in the basement for the office and the garage and the laundry room. The other HVAC unit for that side of the house, and of course this HVAC, which there's an access there, which worked out beautifully for this floor plan. This whole thing was a wall. This is where the kitchen was. There was a small window up there. I dropped that window down so the backyard was more visible. I moved the kitchen over to the other side of where this living room was. This was like a huge wall. This was a huge wall. This was a huge wall going all the way up to the ceiling. So literally, you'd walk into the front door and just be greeted by a big old wood paneling wall. The electrical panel was right here. This was like a closet. And so like I demoed this entire closet. There was electric wires running all through here. Like you couldn't, this was a wall. The main power supply to the whole home was running along the top of this and into where the electrical panel was. So I demoed all that. None of it was load bearing because of the way this roof is built. You know, these beams and everything's sitting on the exterior, so this was good. I took down this wall here and moved the kitchen over there. So we just moved the plumbing over to here because this is actually above the garage, so it's wood frame. That side of the house is on slab, which was tricky for the French drains, which I'll tell you about. That was intense. But this whole thing, of course, just plumbed it up, got all the smart appliances, so all these talk to your phone and Google and this and that. I can see what's inside my fridge from the grocery store, and I can tell this to cook a certain type of turkey. It'll do it. It's amazing. But like, again, pocket doors. I really fell in love with pocket doors on this remodel. And like, I custom built this entire pantry so it holds all your, you know, your wine, your clear things and your pull-out drawers and all that cool stuff. But this was, you know, this was a closet right here. And you would walk in and you would like have this awkward closet, had this little pull light with a little light bulb that was like yellow and gross. I made a slightly smaller closet. So like, you can imagine me like on my hands and knees, like measuring out, okay, let's do a closet that's, you know, 3 feet or whatever. Then plus we need like another like 3 or 4 for the pantry, like figuring out all these dimensions. And so I actually made this into a closet, widened it, and then made that pantry. Every room has a little Google Home Mini, which is pretty sweet. And this is like, I don't know, it's like a second bedroom. The house now has 4 bedrooms because 1, 2, the master, boom, downstairs. That whole wall, by the way, was completely rotten. And so we reframed this whole thing and of course put all new windows and doors in the whole house. So this bathroom had a tub in it. We bumped this out for that coffee niche, however you want to say it, in the kitchen, and built a walk-in shower, a roll-in walk-in shower. So you can see this is actually built up enough to where this would roll straight into the shower. So there's no curve here, which is a cool modern type of feature, which I really like. New exhaust, just like so many things you don't see. Like you're like, yeah, it has an exhaust fan, but like you don't see the soffit that was in here before and how we had to like retweak the pipe the other directions and then revent everything through that gable end. So like this would have a smooth ceiling. So the ceiling in here was these exposed beams with pine boards and everyone's like, oh, the pine is so beautiful. And it was beautiful, but it was so hot in here all the time. I was like, I have to insulate this or else the HVAC is just gonna go straight into the atmosphere. So I did. I spray foamed the entire ceiling of the entire home, even inside of where the roofs are. You can see this spot. That's why there's 2 HVAC units, by the way. There's one here, one on the other side, because the ceiling, the shingles are pretty much right on top of where that pine was. You know, there might be some plywood, but there's no spot for ductwork to run. That's the point. And so I spray foamed it. I ran like 2x4s across this way, so I had something to screw the drywall to, right? So like you have to think about like, all right, I want to drywall, but you have to think, how are you going to do it? There's like multiple options. You could frame it this way, but I decided it was much easier and cheaper to run 2x4s flat this way, every like 24 inches. And I just screwed those to the beams that were there, screwed the drywall to those 2x4s, and then I ran the wiring, of course, before the drywall for these lights, and then we cut in the circle holes for the lights, wired it up. These are 6-inch cans, and everything else here is 4-inch cans, you can see, because you're closer. And then these are farther, so it's like, deesh. So I had to figure out, how do I even put a handrail? Like, what do I do? Like, do I do glass? And it's like kids with their Chick-fil-A fingers. Like, you don't want that. So I went, boom, with 1/4 inch, or is it 3/16 stainless steel rods with a black, because I did black accoutrements everywhere. All the fixtures are black and etc. So viewrail.com, if you want to check them out, and you just send them a dimension of where you need the handrail, and they just send you the posts. There's end posts and line posts. And I even did the same thing on my deck, except I did stretch cable instead of rod on the deck. But this handrail, perfect, love it. So I went in and got the big old electric panel so I can just have tons of space. Having tons of space in your electric panel is crucial. And as we were remodeling, we're down here, we're doing all the renovations, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I've decided this house needs another bathroom. So I added a half bath right here. So you may ask, like, how does this drain? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I had to figure it out. My septic is way up on the other side of the hill by the master. I need to add a toilet. Think. Call the plumbers, call this. Like, what do I do? This, that, and the other thing. Boom, found a toilet that grinds up the junk, shoots it up the wall, and then into the sanitary line right here, because my other bathroom is right above us. I'm like, genius. So I spent $1,000 on a toilet, because had to do it, built, framed out the walls, like how much, you know, room do we need, measured everything, made sure it was all gonna fit, made it work. So now I have a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. So you may be asking, what's this blue thing? It's a little bit dirty, but in the floor. Well, that, my friends, is the 3rd out of the 4 French drains in this house. This garage would leak. So we dug out this whole thing, like the whole side of the house over here, waterproofed the walls, put in Easy Flow, which is a 6-inch pipe with a bunch of, it's like 15 inches total of like packing peanuts, crazy. And then it's wrapped in like this mesh, the water goes through it, perforated pipe, runs down to the river. Did the same thing on the front of the house. So hopefully you're understanding that like my house, half of it, this is the garage, half of it is wood frame, talking about this ceiling, which is that upper floor, you know? And then here it turns into like a big block stem wall and then slab. So it's under the house, so I can't just dig under the house, you know what I'm saying? Which, by the way, quick side note, I put in 2 piles, like piers, straight drilled holes, cord bored through my slab over there, and then fixed the stem wall. Like, this house was like needing so much work. But back to this, I couldn't dig a French drain, so I dug an internal French drain. So this whole wall has a trench right by where the water would come in, goes into this custom built plastic piece with holes in it, allows the water in it, runs to that pump and drains out to the river. This garage was disgusting. Everything was just these gross metal pipes, the wood ceilings, none of these walls were here. Like, there's a little office sort of thing here, but I continued this wall and made this into a nice little laundry room. I boxed out these gross, rusty metal columns, the beams, and so this can be like a really nice area. This is the office. I built this soffit so I could have lights and also a way for that exhaust vent to run outside, and electrical wires and just all kinds of stuff with a little access panel. There's so much you have to think about ahead of time if you want to have a successful remodel. So we put all new insulation in the ceilings, all new flooring. We matched the flooring from upstairs, put a mini split down here. So this whole space is now conditioned. That was like $2,500, not that big of a deal to do. This has a window, calling this a 4th bedroom, baby. Let's go. So this front porch huge deal. 3 months ago, I literally walked out my front door and this is what I saw. Just a normal day at the house. David Gomez, crushing it. Jake doesn't know what to do with his life anymore. Here's a quick little update. It's block wall. So I had to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. Jake, my friend, what are you doing? I wanted a huge front porch. People were like, nah, don't make a big front porch. I'm like, look, I want a big front porch. So I made a big front porch. We formed like footings with rebar, built a block wall, and then filled it in with dirt, and then rebar and wire mesh and stuff. And then we poured a concrete slope with about a 1 or 2% slope coming away from the house so the water doesn't pool into the corner. Okay, so we're about to pour concrete here. There's the neighbor, Bill. Yeah, we're here digging the front steps. Making it happen. My man David's behind the camera. He's doing all the work actually. But you know how Chip Gaines kind of runs in there and just pretends like he's working? No. We've been digging for a little bit, but so step, 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 step. Retaining wall here. You can see the front porch is coming together. We're gonna tamp the concrete here, and we're gonna pour the cells and fill them, and it's just gonna be a beautiful landing right over here. Drop that water line a little bit more. We're making it happen. So we got the Amigos behind me, and the new footing hole, at least, for this retaining wall. Mucho trabajo happening over here. What we're doing here is making a 3x2 footing for this stem wall. It's a retaining wall to keep this dirt from sliding down into my driveway here.
No,
my mom knows how to cook.
You saved my life because I'm trying to go home fast.
Really? Hey, the concrete looks good too, my friend. Even just the math on these stairs was so complex to figure out the perfect height for each tread and riser and everything. And so it's all the same. You got this nice landing and going up to the front steps, just gorgeous. And this is just an awesome block wall. So this was all just one smooth hill and actually cut in with a bobcat to the side of this hill. And I made more parking and I added lights all along the other side of this. Like I could park my jet on this driveway. I mean, I really went all out. I mean, this thing is huge. I went like 30 feet, you know, from here to here and put in these little, it's concrete, but it's like, you know, it just breaks it up a little bit because it's so big. We just kind of formed it separately and kind of notched in so it looks like pavers. Built these custom flower beds, added rocks and plants, and over there too, just really transformed this entire front porch. We even did this gutter where the gutter goes straight down into a drainage system that runs to the river. Speaking of drainage systems, that retaining wall has a French drain. That's my 4th French drain that runs along here into a pipe in the middle and under the driveway. So we did that before we poured the driveway, and I trenched all the way down to the river. It's like, let's check out the deck. So we built this huge deck, this lattice that I threw up on there. It went with this view rail stuff, which is awesome. It's indoor outdoor, so perfect. You can see I poured all these separate footings, dropped in the hot tub. The hot tub is sunken into the deck. Just even that alone, you know, was a feat of creativity. I haven't brought an engineer over here to tell me like, hey, like what size footings do I need to do and like draw it up and like pull the permits necessary and all these things. I actually designed this pull out portion here, which pulls out. Hot tub controls the electrical panel that I added to the disconnect for the hot tub, and it's just pretty sweet. So that's that. And I also added an outdoor shower. Hey, chainsaw guy, we're on YouTube right now. Okay, we need some space. I didn't want the water running right down into where my foundation is, so right underneath this deck, no one's ever gonna know, but it's a 4x8 foot concrete sloped, almost like a shower pan drain that I put so the water goes into a pipe, runs all the way down and meets the other pipe that runs when the water fills up into that pump in the laundry room, remember? And pumps down straight to the river. So that and the water from my garage that doesn't go into my garage anymore just runs straight down to the river. So this is Upunor. This is the cold and this is the hot. And it's a very durable, and you can run it underground, which is exactly what we did here. So you can see there's a little stub up there. Grab a B-roll of it. And a little stub up there. They go into the wall, and then they feed through the ceiling, and they feed the entire master side of the house. So we ran a line straight down under the deck here, and then straight to the block, tied into the water heater. This is a vent. This is a drain that vents the drain, you know what I'm saying? So I built custom gates, custom welded gates, built this whole brand new fence so I don't see Bill, the tennis guy. Bill Nye, the tennis neighbor guy. His name is Bill and he plays tennis. I laid all new solid, put in an irrigation system in the back, put in an irrigation system in the front. It runs on a timer. Guys, I did so much. This house has seriously transformed night and day. Future Jesse here again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, a part of my journey. I hope you enjoyed this Empire Point, beautiful home. It's the gem of this neighborhood. And it's one of the oldest, richest, well-known neighborhoods in Jacksonville. And I've made one of the monument pieces of this neighborhood. It really stands out. And the future buyers are gonna really, really enjoy this house. So like and subscribe, leave a little comment below, and I will see you in a vlog on this YouTube channel very soon. Peace.